With the return of boxing, it is the return of Jared Anderson. This could be a name we're talking about for years to come. That is it. TKO victory, Jared Anderson, round number 3.
Now that's beautiful work. Wow. Impressive work.
And Anderson has himself a first-round knockout and a mighty big smile. 5-0, 5 knockouts. This is the American to watch, and we have seen him here in the bubble. This now the 3rd time. For the first time in his career, the real big baby is going to see round 4. A big left hand from the real big baby, who scores the knockdown there. 6 for 6 to start the career of Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson fighting for the 4th time here in the MGM Grand Bubble, really taking advantage of this bubble situation. Jared Anderson, 7-0, 7 knockouts.
And let's get this started.
Introducing first, out of the blue corner, presented in association with Antonio Leonard Promotions. He weighed in at 249 pounds, wearing pink trunks. He brings a perfect record, 7 wins, no defeats, all 7 victories coming by way of knockout. From Toledo, Ohio, Jared, the real big baby, Anderson. Introducing out of the red corner, he weighed in at 276 pounds, wearing black trunks with white trim. He brings a record of 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 4 victories coming by way of knockout. From Kaduna, Nigeria, and fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Kingsley, the Black Lion, Ibeh.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up.
Russell Moore, the referee. For Ibeh, it's his 4th consecutive bout inside this MGM Grand Bubble. Joe Tessitore ringside with Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, and our ace reporter, Bernardo Osuna. Mark Kriegel, is the label of next great American heavyweight too much, too soon on Jared Anderson?
No, what's the biggest problem in boxing? Fighters you don't know, fighters you don't care about. For Anderson, the hype, the idea of being the next great American heavyweight becomes his identity. That's a good thing. Big fighters need big expectations, fellas.
Dre, he says it's a good thing that it has become his identity of being the next great American heavyweight. When we visit with him, we constantly walk away saying he feels very comfortable, very secure, very contented. He's got a good way about him.
He does, and he looks very content, very comfortable in his first round. But to your point, you know, he's got a polarizing personality, big smile, and a lot of skill to go with it.
Right now, what I love from Anderson is his concentration right now. He has his eyes focused and sealed on Ibeh because he understands what he's up against. He understands that Ibeh has some power to hurt him.
Ibeh's last fight was in early October right here at the MGM Grand Bubble. It was a 6-round draw against the 2016 Italian Olympian, the undefeated pro prospect, Guido Vianello. Oh, there's an exchange, and Ibeh came with a straight left hand as they opened up. Anderson goes to the body with the jab.
This is not supposed to be an easy fight for Anderson. This is the fight that he wanted. Ibeh's a guy who doesn't have a lot of boxing experience, but that's what makes him dangerous. He's crude, he's awkward, and he's willing to fight. So let's see how Anderson responds to some early adversity.
And to add on that, Dre, he's very untraditional, you know, like he throws punches at odd angles. See him switch from southpaw to orthodox right in front of Anderson. Then all of a sudden he'll just explode with a big shot. So
you can see blood coming from the nose of Kingsley Ibeh as Jared Anderson able to get that right hand in against the big 6'4", 276-pounder. Anderson goes to the body, goes back up top with a right hand.
Anderson, with the exception of the one shot he got caught with, is looking very sharp in this first round.
Significant amount of blood now coming from the nose of Ibeh.
And all of this is happening because Anderson has been disciplined with his left jab, his lead hand.
There it is.
But that's what
Combination and return fire from Ibeh.
That's what he's got to be careful for, that wide, awkward shot that Ibeh loves to throw.
Out of nowhere. If I'm Anderson right now, I'm going to be very selective with my shots. Anderson is getting comfortable head hunting, but the body is what he needs to work. Work the body, bring those hands down on the big man, and break him down.
Good start for the 21-year-old undefeated Jared Anderson. Landed Kingsley Ibeh 27-6 in that opening round. He was 14 of 25 on his power punches, Tim.
Yeah, check out these combinations that Anderson was able to land. Right hand, beautifully timed the jab of Ibeh. That's why he was able to land that shot. And again, a slapping right hand right there and a nice jab to follow up. Ibeh defensively is not that sound defensively, you know. He's a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of experience. He's just an explosive fighter in spots. So Anderson needs to be careful in there and be selective with his shots like he's doing right now.
Dre, Tim mentions the lack of overall experience for Kingsley Ibeh. Limited as a boxer, but a former football player, and he's got that build.
Yeah, but a guy his size, that makes him dangerous. What he doesn't know makes him dangerous because he's not getting caught up in this skill game. He just wants to duck his head and land a big shot. And for a young fighter early in his career, that could be problemsome. So he's got to, and I'm talking to Anderson, just has to be disciplined and patient, like Tim said, and then he could potentially get the knockout.
It's interesting, we saw the corner of Jared Anderson. Bernardo, it included the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, Bud Crawford. What are they saying?
Well, Daryl Riley said, I know that Jared sees the openings I'm seeing, but I need him to settle down, don't rush, take his time and break him down.
Dre, something that you were mentioning in that first round.
Well, he's going to have to do, yeah, he's going to have to do that to soundly beat a fighter like Ibeh without taking any crazy risks. Like, you can get the job done impressively without getting hit with the wild shots that he's been hit with so far. And he's only gotten caught with 2 shots, but they were big shots.
There's that steady work with the jab.
But I do think the first round for Anderson was nearly a perfect round for him. A little anxious, but everything else was clicking.
Off balance that time as he missed with the right hand. Ibeh tried to come back with a right of his own.
But Joe, that right of his own, those are the kind of wild shots that I'm alluding to.
Awkward, off balance, non-conforming, constantly switching stances is Ibeh.
Yeah, he broke a rule. You're not supposed to throw a shot from that angle, but he throws it.
Kingsley Ibeh, originally from Africa, came to the United States at 16 years old. Talked to us about how long it's been since he's seen his brother and his mom in the course of the past 10+ years. As a college football player at Washburn University, had a cup of coffee with the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL. Coming to the end of 2. First 2 rounds in the bank for the undefeated Jared Anderson, the Toledo native who moved to Houston, Texas just before the holidays. Trains down there with Daryl Riley and Kay Karoma. Through 2 rounds, Dre, he's landing 48% of his jabs.
Yeah, that's the most important punch in boxing, and that's the most important punch for Jared Anderson tonight. See, this left hand that you see right here, this won't get you on a SportsCenter top 10, but it will set up the punch that will get you on a SportsCenter top 10. So he's got to stay disciplined with that left jab for the duration of this fight.
You see the little antics for both fighters, both guys trying to figure things out. But, you know, Anderson is systematically beating on Ibeh, slowly breaking him down, starting with that jab.
Well, that's what he told us, and I'm talking to Anderson. In the fighter meeting, he said, I want to break down the mind of Ibeh, and then the body will follow.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Minute into round 3, his average fight is 1.7 rounds. His longest fight to date for Anderson was 2:22 of round number 4. Those 7 total fights have lasted 12 rounds.
And to that point, Joe, because Anderson hasn't gone a lot of rounds and hasn't been in a real tough fight yet, it's imperative that he stays focused and doesn't fall asleep, because Ibeh is looking for a big shot. Just like you see right there, he's ducking down, he's looking, he wants Anderson to make a mistake. Anderson has to stay focused for the duration of this fight.
And I believe that Anderson is, and that's the reason why you're seeing the single jabs by him. He's trying to get Ibeh to throw and get off balance so he can catch him on the way in.
Watch your feet. Watch your feet.
Ibeh smiling, saying, please just make a mistake so I can let this left hand go.
Look at that. Perfectly placed right hand down to the body. Now Anderson saying, hey, you gonna switch southpaw? I can switch southpaw too.
Now Ibeh back to orthodox.
Good
That's
shot.
exactly what he was setting up right there. Looking for Ibeh to expose himself with his offense and then boom, make him pay.
That shot knocked Ibeh back southpaw.
See that blood continuously coming from the nose of Ibeh. That started halfway through round number 1. And a big smile on the face of the undefeated 21-year-old Ohio native, Jared Anderson. Oh, to be 21 years old and in a cash-heavy heavyweight division, and a very top-heavy division that we will talk about when we return.
I'm letting you guys know right now, you are potentially watching the future heavyweight, American heavyweight, baby. Look at the jab. Beautiful. He cannot miss with that jab. The jab is what sets the table for Anderson. And you see he's landing it very effectively, on point all the time, anytime he wants to. I see later in this fight, I see the right hand coming over the top and the right hand, and the left hook possibly finishing Ibeh.
Joe, Tim, and Dre with you here ringside as we get a peek at 7-0 Jared Anderson. You mentioned the jab. He has landed 35 of 81 thrown. Round number 4 scheduled for 6. Remember, the longest fight he has had to date is 2:22 of round number 4. You see the total jabs that we mentioned through 3 rounds, and total punches he's outlanding Ibeh 65-12. Dre, this heavyweight division, obviously, you sit back at 21 years old. You got time. You got time. In the lower weight classes, and we're going to have a visit with Teofimo Lopez. You got an undisputed champion at 23. But here you got time, because sitting there is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And we know that soon we expect for an official word that they will be fighting in late spring, early summer, and possibly 2 fights. And there's Deontay Wilder still out there, and Andy Ruiz making a comeback, and familiar names like the veteran Povetkin and Parker and Usyk, who's a cruiserweight undisputed champion, moving up to heavyweight. He can take his time and put bricks in the foundation.
Yes, he can. And the beautiful thing about the heavyweight division is, even though it is top heavy, there's a lot of top contenders that a young fighter can work his way to, you know, big name guys within the sport where they can make a decent amount of money, keep sharpening their skills, and prepare for when that moment comes.
Yeah, decent amount of money. Have you been reading the headlines as to what they think Fury and Joshua could be pulling down?
No, I have not.
Oh, well.
That's Mayweather money.
Widely reported that Fury and Joshua will fight for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world come late spring.
See, I think in these situations right here, the onus is on Jared Anderson, because nobody expects Ibeh to win this fight. But the world is watching Anderson, saying, show us something. Give us a reason to get behind you. Give us a reason to support you. So sometimes winning is not just enough. Yes, be smart, but he wants to make sure he closes the show in the right way.
It's time for a changeup. You know, he's got him used to the jab. Lead with the left hook as opposed to the jab. And I'm talking about for Anderson, that's what he should do.
Because Ibeh's doing what he's supposed to do. He's surviving right now. He said, hey, you won't do anything, I won't do anything.
Back here live in Vegas, strong night of action on Top Rank. Richard Comey, the former lightweight champion who was knocked out by Teofimo Lopez 14 months ago, makes his return. It comes in our main event later tonight against Jackson Marinez. We also have Adam Lopez and Jason Sanchez in a very important 10-round featherweight fight. And you see right there Comey in the locker room. He had a visit with Teofimo Lopez, who is here ringside. We will hear from the undisputed champion in just a little bit. This is round number 5. The undefeated Jared Anderson in complete control. He has outlanded Kingsley Ibeh to this point, 79-15.
Tess, I like what I'm seeing from Anderson. You know, he's been very patient. You know, these are growing pains for him. Not a problem. You know, this is the longest I've seen him in a fight. Ibeh is not an easy guy to face, man. You know, he's a guy that has punching power. He's a guy that explode at any moment with a shot. Anderson is doing the right thing, using his jab, staying composed, and just waiting on the right opportunity to land the shot.
It is now the longest fight of his career, Timmy, as we're here into round 5.
When Ibeh's on the ropes like that, trying to rest and buy time, I think that's a good time for Anderson to pick up his left hand, pick up his jab, not just to the head, but to the body. Stab him to the body, steal win from him, and send a message to Ibeh that I'm not going to let you rest. Yeah, I'm going to be smart, but I'm going to steal win if you want to sit on these ropes like that.
And to add to that, I believe that he needs to add some more feints to his game as well. You know, get Ibeh to commit off the feint.
You see in the corner of your screen what's coming up a week from right now, and that is Miguel Berchelt against Oscar Valdez in what is one of the most anticipated Mexican versus Mexican warrior fights we've had in some time. You know, the great history and tradition of those countrymen fighting through the years. 5 times in the last 20 years, the fight of the year has been between Mexican fighters, and that world championship fight at 130 pounds will be on ESPN next week. And look at Jared Anderson.
Anderson doesn't really fight like a heavyweight.
No, he doesn't.
He's like a middleweight trapped in a heavyweight's body. He's got that mentality of quickness, speed, and flair. He doesn't lumber around like a typical heavyweight. Decent shot from Ibeh right there that grazed the temple of Anderson.
Well, that is something that is said of the #1 heavyweight in the world as well, Tyson Fury, who at 6'9", 270+ pounds, is often mentioned as a guy who fights and has the agility and nimbleness of a middleweight. And it was Jared Anderson who was his chief sparring partner when he got ready for Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I think Fury's a light heavyweight trapped in a heavyweight's body.
Back here live in Vegas, 6th and final round in our heavyweight opener. Jared Anderson has been in complete control, dominating Kingsley Ibeh. 7-0, 21-year-old heavyweight prospect. Could be his first distance fight. 7 knockouts in his 7 wins.
You know, if there's nothing there for a fighter when he's dominating, keep doing what you're doing and get the decision win. But if there's opportunity to step it up and close the show, you should do that. And I think there is opportunity for Anderson. He has to be smart, and I can't say that enough, but there is opportunity.
Just tagged him with a right hand. Ibeh is coming forward now. Perhaps that's where the opportunity comes for.
That right uppercut to the body from Anderson was mean a few seconds ago.
2-punch combination from Jared.
So you see the reaction from Ibeh. He's starting to break him down. That's what I mean when I say there's opportunity. Don't let him sort of, you know, steal the fight by just, you know, going the distance by kind of staying on the ropes and making you think he's going to do something. Press him and make him prove it.
What you're saying is that he just need to get a little bit more consistent with his jab and start piecing punches together instead of throwing one shot at a time.
And Anderson will be in range to get hit.
Just like he's doing here.
His offense is a lot more explosive than Ibeh's.
Just as he's doing right here. Needs to keep piecing them together.
Significant amount of blood now coming from both the nose and the mouth of Kingsley Ibeh. Halfway through the 6th and final round, can Jared Anderson keep the knockout streak alive? 3-punch combination.
Jeez.
Ibeh's ready to go. You just got to give him a little help.
Push him out the door, Andre.
More work from that jab of Anderson.
Good shot.
Russell Mora is telling Kingsley Ibeh, you got to show me something. He's thinking about stopping the fight with the damage Ibeh is taking. Big guy, former football player, 6'4", 276, and he's absorbing a lot of punishment, and a big left hand will end the night. Jared Anderson, 8 for 8, explosive finish.
He's still out, Joe. He's still out.
Hurt bad.
Kingsley Ibeh is laid out. Medical attention into the ring immediately as the 21-year-old heavyweight sensation Jared Anderson absolutely floors him here in the 6th round. And that's a great sign as you see him now able to move his extremities and lift his head. They will take a very slow and deliberate approach in handling Kingsley Ibeh here. Stage by stage, as you have some of the best ringside physicians in all of boxing in this Nevada State Commission. Dr. Raimundo Leon, Dr. Obert, Coates, and Bacharan all attending here ringside. And one of the most active commissions, of course, in all of boxing. So they will take this in stages and assess Kingsley Ibeh. Eventually, they will sit him up and get him to the stool. And, of course, he will be headed off to the hospital. And that is the first good stage when they assess him neurologically, that he's good to sit up. And they'll eventually get him to the stool. 58 power punches landed by Jared Anderson.
Next time, brother.
17 of them
Get back in the gym,
in that
bro.
partial
Get back in the
6th
gym.
round alone.
And you know this, Tess. Anytime someone lands over 50% of their power shots, it's going to be a knockout.
Another dominating performance for Jared Anderson, the 21-year-old who is touted as the next great American heavyweight. All right, let's go through it with the replays, Timmy.
Yeah, let's take a look at this end of this fight here. You know, Anderson being very smart right there, feigning before he actually attacked. Nice block right there, and came back with offense and caught him with a nice, beautiful short left hook in the inside, right on the chin. Ibeh was pretty much ready to go, you know, and we said early on that he had to get a little more consistent with his offense, and if he gets a little bit more consistent with his offense, he could get the stoppage.
Yeah, he closed the show just like we said, and you can see in the eyes of Ibeh that he was ready to go, but, you know, he's been around the game long enough to know how to survive, and Anderson didn't give him that opportunity. A great step back, beautiful right hand to the top of the head, and a left hook that literally turned the lights out of Ibeh. That was the SportsCenter type 10 shot. Top 10 shot that we were talking about.
Oh, you are going to see that everywhere. That right hand to the temple and then the short left. And you could see the eyes roll back in Kingsley Ibeh's head. He was out before he hit the ring.
Yes.
And it's great to see him up. All right, let's make it official. Jared Anderson does it again. Here's Mark Chinook.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside MGM Grand, this bout comes to a stop at 2 minutes, 19 seconds of the 6th round. For your winner by knockout, Jared, the real big baby, Anderson.
8-0, 8 knockouts, 6th round KO from the guy originally from Toledo, Ohio, Jared Anderson.
Mike.